y'all, welcome back. If I don't say this earlier, please excuse the fact that I don't have no earrings. I already think I'm gonna probably say everything I need to say in the intro, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do my brows, since this face is not necessarily geared towards the brows, it's more so towards the face. But if y'all would like a brow tutorial, please let me know and I will do that for y'all. So when your brows are done, that's really kind of like the first step. Like I said, if y'all want to see a tutorial on that, I will do that for y'all. So the first step is figuring out, do you have oily skin? Do you have combination skin? Do you have dry skin? That is like your setup for the rest of your makeup, whether you're going to get a matte foundation, a dewy foundation, dewy primer, hydrating primer, matte primer. That just kind of bases it for whatever kind of skin type you have. So me personally, I have combination skin, not really leaning towards like to either oily or dry. Is literally combination, and since I have combination skin, it can work for whoever. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just say this beforehand, I'm sorry if I talk a lot during this video, but a lot of people have asked for this video, so I just wanted to make sure I get everything done and say everything I need to say, just so everybody will be good. So I found my primer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Primer. This is one of the only primers that I use. I used to use the Milk Hydro one too. This is just for a beginner, good for me because it does a lot of things that multiple primers, you usually need multiple primers for, if that makes sense. So your phone don't start ringing until you get to filming, but like I was saying, and this primer does more than one job. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. So boom, face is primed. So next step for me is foundation. So when it comes to foundation, first you have to find your foundation that works for you, and second, find a tool that works for you. Meaning, how are you going to blend your foundation? Are you going to use a beauty blender? Do you prefer to use a foundation brush? It just depends on you. So for beginners and as far as affordability, I will go with the Real Technique sponge and their foundation brush. I love both of these products because this sponge is very, very soft. It has a flat side and a pointy side. Or you can use the foundation brush just if you have a thicker consistency kind of foundation, just to spread that out. These both came in a pack with 2 other brushes, so I know no more than $15, which is a great deal. For me, foundation I use for like a basic beat face, something I know that I can never go wrong with using, is the Born This Way foundation in Chai. A drugstore foundation that y'all know I love to use that does the same trick. I'm sorry, it's dirty and it's almost empty. Is the Maybelline Super Stay foundation. I use 355 Coconut. I love this because it's still full coverage, it's very matte, and it's very affordable. So I usually apply this with my beauty blender, but I'm just going to show y'all both for the sake of the video. I don't really know how many pumps I do. I'm just doing what I usually do. Know that with brushes, it's more likely to get the brush lines. So that's why you can always go back over it with a sponge. I do like covering my eyelids with my foundation and my concealer, only because my eyes get really, really dark. And make sure you blend out the concealer around your eyebrows along with your foundation that's already on the brush. And if you're like me and you wear like lace, like frontals, closures, it's best to use as little foundation as possible. So one major key that I want to tell y'all though is make sure you blend it and taking your time. The more you blend, the more that's how it's gonna look in reality. So usually I go back over with the flat part of my sponge just to soak up any extra product, but I am going to give y'all a few tips on how I color correct. I don't know if a lot of people do this or a lot of brown girls necessarily do this. I do because if I'm not getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, my dark circles come out. It's hereditary. My mom has them. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I like them, but under the makeup, you don't want to see them. And I kind of feel like I have a dark shadow from where I have a mustache. I don't get it waxed or I don't shave it or anything, but I feel like when my foundation clings to it, it is a little bit of hair there. That's natural. These are great concealers for beginners because they come in a lot of different shades, and as y'all can see, these come in color correcting shades. But generally on darker girls, you use orange to cover up darkness. So I literally just use a thin layer. And you can use this even if you have golden undertones like me. Like some of my undertones are orange, some of them are golden, but they're mostly golden. But this just kind of counteracts with that darkness. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out. So again, patting motions, blending it out, and you can see it's not gonna necessarily turn my foundation orange or make me orange, because if I probably would have never told y'all probably would have never guessed. A lot of people are scared of it, but I noticed with this routine it does make a difference for me. So boom, color corrector, blend it out. I could blend it a little more right here. Next up is concealing. I use the Born This Way concealer in the shade Butterscotch. I love this concealer because it's very blendable, and for my shade it's the right amount of golden, the right amount of highlight without being too extra. And so y'all can watch different tutorials on how to highlight and contour. Y'all know the general places that everybody contours. I do go a little ham on my concealer just because I like how this looks. It doesn't give me the cakey feeling. So I generally do right there under my eyes and right here, a little bit on my concealer, on my chin, and I stopped doing my nose and my forehead just because I got some kind of tricks that where I'm still learning. I'll show y'all later. So I let this sit, but I blend it out with the tip of this sponge, and generally at this time I go in and I contour. So I used to have a problem with contouring. It used to get really muddy really fast, meaning that it'll start messing up my face. So I learned that if I contour first while I let my concealer sit, it also does a little better. And I also build as I go. I don't necessarily have to have that final look that I want with this first step. I can achieve that through a process of setting it, building it, bronzing. So that's just what I'm gonna do. This is just a box that I got from an Ipsy bag. It's a fluffy but dense brush, and I start with a little on my hand. So I just kind of dust my brush in it, and I always start with this side first. I'm sorry, y'all. I start with this side, and I literally just dust it in my cheekbones, and you see how it's there, but it's so light. Like, so this is a few shades darker than me. That is the Pro Girl in Mahogany. So I put it in my cheekbones and dust it along my forehead and my temples. This is into like my edges for real. I like this Born This Way concealer more when it's set, so because it's more full coverage and it just looks prettier to me. And as you can see, that just is gonna counteract with that contour and also give me that nice bomb highlighted effect. And you go with the tip of your sponge and blend both of those out. And this is all about blending out and just taking your time basically. And as you can see under my eyes, you can't see any of that orange, any of that color corrector. Usually at this point I do go in the middle of my brows and blend those out just because I do like the ombre brow effect. But you literally, y'all, are, it's like a pounce, like a so, you know, just blend all of that out. One of my favorite parts of makeup, like right now, since I figured this out, usually when I highlight, I used to, I bake and set my under eye. I used to use the Born This Way Too Faced powder in translucent medium. I still use this, but y'all will believe me, I mix it in with the Air Sponge translucent powder just to give me the whole highlighted effect again, and not really my skin tone color, because this Too Faced, it sets, is good. So what I do is just go half and half with these powders to not necessarily be translucent and not necessarily be brown, but still give me a highlighted look. I know y'all see this powder flying everywhere. That's one thing I don't like about this Air Sponge powder. It is kind of messy. Now this Too Faced one is too. So you go half and half. Blend out my under eye. This, like I said, my creases are natural, but try to get rid of as many of them as possible. I just blend under my eye again, dip my Real Techniques powder in there, my sponge in there, tap it off, and go back over it. And I don't bake, I push it in. And yeah, and you see it mattifies me, makes everything perfect. And I just keep pressing it in till I can't anymore. Go back over with my other eye, come up on the sides of my nose and do the same thing. And makeup is definitely trial and error and just learning about your face and what goes best with your complexion. So I definitely gonna tell y'all, you're not gonna get it right on the first time. It's a lot of practice and learning what works for you and your skin. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I rave about these MAC Studio Fix powder foundations. They are just great for beginners if you want to just use these on your natural skin, walk outside just to give you a little bit of coverage. Like I usually use these on my dark circles, but I definitely love these. So I'm going to use this with a big fluffy brush, it's broke, you know, to set the rest of my face. So everything down here, everything on my forehead. That was in NC 47. Then I have another one in NC 55, which is lighter, and I use this with a Morphe, more like a dense stippling brush. And I use this to kind of give my under eye a little pop of color, since I use that translucent powder, and to also set it one more time. It gives you a little more coverage, and I just like this under my eye. So now this is another multi-use for like one product for multi-uses. This is the Black Radiance. I'm sorry, True Complexion palette. Has the contour, sculpt, and the highlight. I love the highlight in this palette. Yes, I love the contour, but I'm gonna be honest, I've never used the sculpt. I like this for contouring again because it's very neutral. It's not orangey, and I guess I don't use it for contouring, but I do use it to bronze my face and bring back color. As you can see, it's messy right here because I just dip back and forth just to make sure I'm not using too much and I'm not going so hard. And so I just go over my contour with my on my cheeks and everywhere that I use that LA concealer, and I just blend it out. Again, not really picking much up off the palette, but I just take excess from what I have right there. If that's not enough pigment for me, it's just a tap back and forth and a blend kind of thing, just to give your face more life, more color. So I close that, and then I then take some more of that translucent powder and I go under that contour line again, so you won't get muddy and so you can control it. But you usually go from your ear to the corner of your mouth, and more of a diagonal line more so than a straight line. Not very much, just a little, and we're not gonna let it sit there, but it's gonna chisel us out and give us a break between contour, lighter. Just dust the powder away. And you can see it kind of cleans that up, but since my powder has more browns in it, it's not a flashback. Okay, cool. So next, I take my Morphe 39L Hit the Lights palette, just because I don't have a blush, and I take and I sweep in all of these colors right here, not the shimmery, but all of these colors right here, because like I said, I don't have a brush, and I use the same brush that I contour with just to give me some color. I've been watching a lot of Doja Cat tutorials since I've been home, so blush really was a new thing for me, and I like just the color it gives me. Now these are eyeshadows, so there's very pigment, so I always use the top of my palettes to blend everything out and like dust off any extra product, just because it's available. And I just go on my cheeks, and I swipe up, and on my cheeks and swipe up without adding any really extra product. But I love, if this is too much for you, skip this step. But again, it gives you a feminine look. It ties everything together, and I bet if I didn't tell y'all wouldn't really be able to tell. And I go on the bottom of my nose again, just to bring in some of that color. Blend everything out. This is a little much, but I'm enjoying it. I recommend it doing on the cheeks. Y'all can skip the nose, but the cheeks definitely, in my pictures or my selfies, I can see it. It's more so like a cute girly touch. Next step, before I highlight, I always set my face with my Morphe continuous setting mist. This just brings some backing into her face. Y'all don't have to use this one, but Morphe is kind of on the cheaper side. I know when I first get into makeup, I was like, $20, $12 is not cheap, but compared to a lot of stuff, it is. I do have one from the drugstore that I use. This is the matte makeup set and finishing spray. This is $3.99 in my beauty supply store, so I use both of these. They're not the same thing. This is matte, this is just setting, but I sometimes combine them if I really want to be set, because that is a good beauty supply spray. But I just kind of go ham and I just fan everything. I'm holding the bottom of my thing and I just, and as you can see, it toned down my blush, toned down my highlight, my contour, and it's just kind of making everything go back into the face. So this is just a Ruby Kisses 24-hour eye defining eye liner. It's more, is this a gel? It's really like, what's this, a cream? I don't know. It's very black. I love it. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see, but as you can see, you see how I just like how this eye looks more than this eye. Since I'm not having on any eyeshadow, it just keeps my eye down there, to me, from looking naked, and it gives you that extra when you apply your lashes. So I'm making sure my fingers dry, my face is set, and just going under. So my eyes are lined. I would go in with lashes, but I just really don't feel like doing that today. I would, and I probably should, but I don't even, I want some more. I haven't been lash shopping since quarantine, but to give y'all a good mascara, this is a Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's not the best to me. It's very pricey, but it's what I have and it's what I like. But again, it's not the best. I feel like there could be something better. But I always recommend putting on either lashes or mascara, just because since you did that concealer and powder, your lashes are kind of missing, and you just need to give them some color back into your face, because it just makes your whole face equal, if that makes sense. So if you're kind of like me and haven't really mastered contouring your nose, this is what you do. So this is another brush that came in that pack that I told y'all about earlier, the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. And so my face is already set. Everything is already, boom. My nose has concealer and powder on it, just because I make sure I take it up the sides. That's something I should have told y'all earlier. Make sure you take it up the sides for this moment. And this is very little product though, and you take it and you just ever so slightly contour your nose. It's small and it's slight, but it makes the difference for me. Before I highlight, I do like to do lips. So this is my lip combo in my other quarantine makeup routine video. If y'all haven't seen that, please go watch that. But Cork lip liner from MAC is my fave. I already wiped off all the makeup on my lips because, like I said, I don't really like that. So I use Cork. Any brown lip liner or do, you could just do this, finish it off with a clear gloss. But if you want to be a little extra, I use MAC's Brooklyn Born Lip Glass. This is a limited edition, but something similar to this is Oyster from MAC, or any clear gloss. I mean clear gloss with a little bit of glitter in it. And then I top it off with a clear. This is the LA Colors lip color from the beauty supply, and I just do like that. You can top it off with any clear, but it just blends the sparkles and the brown. And to highlight, this is just a brush from a Forever 21 brush palette. When I used to buy Forever 21 brushes, they are actually pretty decent. I take the highlight in this palette again, and I just go over my cheeks, cheekbones. I always do this after my makeup is good and set, because it just makes the highlight pop a lot more, honey. Hit the nose, and you make sure I get the tip of my nose really, really good, and then the bridge of my nose, because that's what brings that contour all together. If you made it this far in the video, you know I'm doing a giveaway. I feel like y'all actually deserved it. My mom sent me these two Kylie Jenner pressed powder palettes. This is called the Burgundy palette, and this is what it looks like. I was gonna keep this one, but it's a lot more neutrals and stuff in it, and so she was like, if you already have that, why would you keep this one? But then she sent me the blue honey palette, and again, I don't really wear eyeshadow. The blues are cute, but I'm not really gonna do nothing with them. But this brown did kind of speak to me. So if you're interested in these palettes, depending on how many people actually enter the giveaway, either you're gonna get one of them or both of them, just depending on, you know, how many people enter. Like I said, so the rules of the giveaway are: make sure you're subscribed to my channel, you follow me on Instagram, and you DM me when you're done. When you DM me, give me an idea of what video you want to see next, something that you want to see, and that's also so I can check that you followed me on Instagram and that you subscribe to my YouTube. I'll randomly do a random thing in the next video, in like my next couple videos. I don't really know when it's gonna end, but I'll announce it on my Instagram. Again, that's why you need to follow me on Instagram. But I'll announce on Instagram when the giveaway is over, you know, like just whatever. But again, these are two brand new palettes. I literally just got them today. In my next video, I'll do a swatch, and then the video after that, I will do announce the winner. But like I said, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, DM me that says you're done, and DM me and tell me what video you want to see next. You have to follow all the rules to enter. It'll be totally random. But yeah, I hope this tutorial was very informative for you guys. I hope y'all liked it. And like I said, if y'all want to see a brow tutorial, let me know. But I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace.